You're listening to the story, Love is Just an Illusion, but Holding the Property Deed is Eternal, broadcast on Mimi Audio's YouTube channel. My ex-boyfriend was very rich, and for money, I became the kind of person who flattered him constantly. Every day I worked hard at sweet-talking him, until some green tea girl stepped in. On the day we broke up, I cautiously asked, "Honey, the house you gave me before, can you get lost already?" He snapped. He was angry. Under the blazing sun, I obediently clutched the property deed and ran off. Honestly, even back in elementary school, I was already someone who buttered people up. My deskmate came from a wealthy family, and his drawer was always stuffed with pocket money. Every day, I'd run errands for this young master. 5 yuan each trip. My eyes lit up at the sight of money. Even when he went to the bathroom, I escorted him. At such a young age, my piggy bank was already overflowing with cash. Later, when the young master transferred schools, I relied on those savings to finish elementary school. In middle school, I started doing small business. During lunch break, I'd buy bags full of snacks from the convenience store outside the school, then resell them to classmates at a markup during recess. The person who loved buying my snacks the most was a girl named Qian Jing, fair-skinned, pretty, and with a daily allowance of several hundred yuan. Back then, I didn't know what was going on in her mind, but every recess she'd spend dozens of yuan on snacks from me, not to eat, but to share with others. Candy wrappers littered the ground, and she'd call me to sweep them up. 20 yuan each time. I was diligent, trailing after her every day. Most students had no real concept of money, so I earned quite a lot. At my peak, I made 300 yuan in a single day. Student money was always easier to earn than money out in the real world. People who haven't suffered hardship can't understand the value of money. As for me, no father, no mother, I grew up shrewd, thinking of ways to make money every single day. Later, when I entered university, I worked desperately hard to earn money, exhausting myself, until I met Chen Shen, a second-generation rich kid plus, who spent money like water. He was literally a walking ATM. What kind of person was Chen Shen? A star in the art department, heir to a real estate empire, a true young master. How did we meet? I was the president of the discipline committee, and this was already the 12th time I'd caught him skipping class. His advisor glared furiously at the attendance sheet. "What, you think exams are so great? Hey, you, don't bother erasing his name anymore," the advisor said. I stayed silent, just kept recording his absences, as usual. Finally, right before the holidays, he came looking for me. He asked what my deal was. I cautiously answered, "Senior, I really have no choice. If there's no way, I have to find a way." He leaned back on the sofa, annoyed, staring at me. So I really did find him a way. I helped him run around and get things handled, and the matter was resolved. He was very satisfied with my bootlicking role, probably amused, and seeing how dirt poor I was, he casually handed me a gold pendant worth 30,000 yuan. I immediately expressed my deepest respect to him, serving him morning and night. Later, one day, the young master asked if I was trying to pursue him. I carefully replied, "If you don't like me messaging you, I won't message anymore." He said nothing. A long while later, a reply popped up in the chat. "Your name is Chao Kui, right?" "Yes. Who needs a cute kitten?" JPG. "Do you know the school beauty Chen Jing?" "Yes. She failed a course." "I understand. I'll ask around these next few days." "Okay, thanks." Chen Shen truly lived up to the young master in my heart. Right after, he sent me a 5,000 yuan red packet. I didn't hesitate. I accepted it and sent back a thank you emoji. Maybe because I took too much money from him early on. Later, when we were dating, the phrase he said to me most was, "Ciao Chui, can't you stop worshipping money so much?" I never explained, because I really did worship money. Every red packet he sent, I took. From the start, I hadn't been in it for him as a person. How did Chen Shen and I actually start dating? That goes back to Tianjing. Funny enough, she and I had quite the fate together. Same middle school, same high school, and later admitted to the same university. But once in college, our majors were so different that we rarely interacted. Just an occasional hello if we bumped into each other. Until one night, deep past midnight, Chen Shen called me, asking if I had a vehicle. I said yes. He told me he'd been drinking and couldn't drive, then casually sent me a red packet and asked me to pick him up. So in the dead of night, I rode over on my beat-up electric scooter. The young master couldn't help laughing at the sight. First time riding an e-scooter. How about you just call me a taxi? Forget it. Taxis are uncomfortable. Scooter it is. Plus we get the breeze. I picked him up, but before we reached the campus, he was already drunk and rambling, sniffling. She rejected me. First time I ever confessed to a girl, and she rejected me. His voice grew more pitiful in the night wind. Then he suddenly wrapped his arms around my waist, leaning against my back, and fell asleep. I froze. I was just here to pick him up. Getting hugged costs extra, you know. When I stopped the scooter, Chen Shen confessed. He didn't say it aloud though. Instead, he sent a transfer of 20,000 yuan with the note, "Be my girlfriend," grinding my teeth. I accepted the money. When I looked up, Chen Shen saw the transfer confirmation on my screen, slipped his phone into his pocket, and walked off to his dorm, satisfied. I stood outside the boys' dorm, the cold night wind clearing my head. That wasn't a confession. It was him being rejected and in a bad mood, using me to fill the void. But later that night, I looked at the money on my phone. The more I looked, the happier I felt, until I laughed myself to sleep. I had a boyfriend. Now though, only Chen Shen knew. He didn't say anything, and neither did I. Occasionally, he'd send me a red packet labeled dinner, along with an address. I'd happily run over. Perfect. Not only free cash, but also a free meal. Sometimes, it was just the two of us, with Chen Shen booking a private room to eat leisurely. Pampered since childhood, he ate slowly, unhurried. He disliked me eating too much. After just 2 or 3 bites, he'd raise his brows, drink the soup. So I sipped from a small bowl of soup, glanced up to see he had no objections, and then continued eating. When dining with a group, I behaved more reservedly, eating quietly and politely. If someone called my name, I'd look up, smile, and answer simply. If they stopped asking, I went back to eating. Some people said I seemed very obedient, told me to just relax. I'd smile and nod. As for whether I was obedient, I can't say. I just know if you're an orphan, you'd be even more obedient than me. That's how I lived, quietly and compliant. Later, for my birthday, Chen Shen invited me to celebrate on his family's yacht. The sea breeze was cool as I closed my eyes. To make a wish, he reclined lazily on the sofa, interrupting, "Just say your wish out loud. Why keep it in your heart?" I hesitated for a moment, then said firmly, "I want a house." Chen Shen raised his brows. "Fair enough. My family builds houses for a living. Congratulations. You made your wish to the right person. In a few days, I'll take you to transfer the deed." He lounged there, still fiddling idly with his phone. He tossed it out so casually that my heart raced. but I didn't dare ask if he was serious. I just cut the cake and sat beside him, eating quietly. The sunset over the pier was beautiful. The cake was sweet. For some reason, I suddenly wanted to kiss him. I didn't care about the house anymore. I could always save enough money on my own. What I really wanted in that moment was to kiss him, but I said nothing, made no move. He kept scrolling on his phone, then paused at a voice message. I couldn't hear what it said, but he frowned. Let's go. It's late. He had something to do and left first. I rented an e-scooter by the roadside. Back at the dorm, I learned that school beauty Qianjing had collapsed from low blood sugar and was rushed to the hospital. Dropping by, I happened to see a photo someone had snapped. Chen Shen, standing right next to her. I suddenly remembered my half-eaten cake. After a long while, I yawned, climbed into bed with my phone, and went to sleep. For the next few days, Chen Shen was busy. I didn't message him either. Until the day Qianjing was discharged, Chen Shen texted, asking me to go out, a picnic, with another red packet attached. Happily, I packed a bag and went. Only when I arrived did I realize they had 2 cars. Exactly. 8 people, and I was the 9th. The extra one out. I froze. While everyone sat quietly, saying nothing, for a moment, I felt awkward. But since I was already there, saying I'd leave would have been even more awkward. Chen Shen looked at me, frowned, then his gaze shifted to the SUV beside us. Qianjing suddenly grabbed my hand. Come on up, we'll squeeze a little. The back seat she sat in still had a little space, but she'd just been discharged, clearly not fully recovered. I shook my head immediately. I'll take the SUV. It's fine. We'll all arrive together anyway. Qianjing looked at me. Our eyes met. After a long moment, she finally let go. Their cars drove off, while I sat alone in the empty rest pavilion. It wasn't tourist season, so there weren't many people, just me. I waited a long time before the shuttle bus finally arrived. By the time I got to the mountaintop, it was already getting dark, and everyone had started their picnic. Most of them I barely knew, maybe shared a meal with once or twice. I found a corner and sat there from noon till late afternoon. Chen Shen was grilling skewers, and from time to time, one would be passed over to me. The scenery around was beautiful. After eating just enough, I wanted to take a walk. I told Chen Shen, but he seemed distracted that day. He didn't even look at me, just gave a perfunctory, yeah. The mountain air was fresh. Growing up in the orphanage, I rarely had chances to go out and play. I walked for nearly an hour, figuring they must almost be done eating, so I headed back. But things didn't turn out the way I expected. The clearing was completely empty, not a single soul in sight. At that moment, I realized how deeply loneliness could sting. Dusk was falling, the shuttle buses had stopped running, and I had no choice but to walk down the mountain. The sun dipped west, and I was alone in the forest. Halfway down, my phone died with a blank screen. I kept walking in silence. The road reminded me of the path I took years ago when I ran away from the orphanage. Same dim light, same blur of trees, until everything faded into pitch black darkness. Back then, I couldn't find my way home, and my father never came home again either. I looked around in panic and started running. The moonlight cast a pale glow over the shadowy trail. Fear gripped me, and I shouted with all my strength, "Senior!" The echo bounced back from the mountains, chilling me to the bone. That night, I walked for hours, terrified the entire time. By dawn, I finally reached a bus stop where the driver let me charge my phone for a while. He glanced at me, startled. "You stayed out here all night? Why didn't you call 911? I raised my dead phone. "I forgot to check the battery." "Battery ran out, huh?" Girl, don't go hiking alone again. If you do, bring your boyfriend or at least some friends. I did bring someone, though maybe he doesn't count. I forced a smile. Yes, I'll remember that. Thank you, sir. When my phone turned back on, I saw Chen Shen had messaged me the night before. He said he left early and told me to head home soon. I let out a bitter laugh, slumped back in the seat, and dozed off. Chen Shen still occasionally invited me out for meals. One day, maybe remembering his birthday promise, he transferred the ownership of one of his apartments to me. It wasn't very big. 3 bedrooms and a living room. Never lived in. To Chen Shen, it was probably just some spare property he could casually hand off. But when I received the deed, I was thrilled as always, grinning ear to ear while exploring my little house. He didn't understand. It's just a small apartment. What's there to be so happy about? I nodded seriously. Senior, you wouldn't get it. I was still on the discipline committee, covering Chen Shen's attendance whenever he skipped class. His requirements weren't high. Just make sure nothing happened if he didn't show up. I did my job diligently. When New Year's came, everyone went home. I didn't. I had no home to return to. Instead, I went to my little apartment. It was barely furnished, not even a TV. After thinking it over, I decided to buy one before the holiday. At the electronics store, I bumped into Chen Shen. He had brought along his little sister, a cute girl about 8 or 9 years old. He clearly wasn't good with kids, so the moment he saw me, he pulled me over. Hey, you know how to fold paper cranes, right? Yes. Teach her. I'll send you a red envelope. Okay. The girl clutched a piece of paper, tears welling in her eyes. Hearing me, she finally handed it over. I folded it quickly, and she hugged the paper crane before running back. To her friends, Chen Shen frowned. What's so special about a cheap piece of colored paper? I shook my head. It's not about money. If it's something you like, no matter how cheap, it's still a treasure. He didn't expect that. From me. After a pause, he asked, So, what are you here to buy? A TV. You helped me. Come on, I'll pick one for you. He chose a pretty good model, clearly meaning to gift it to me. I lit up. Thank you, senior. That was Chen Shen. Money meant little to him. We were closer now, but still far from being a couple. Probably just friends, or acquaintances. At best, I was in my 3rd year of college, 21 already. I spent New Year's Eve making dumplings by myself, watching fireworks through the window by myself. On the streets, young people ran around with sparklers. I grabbed a box of my own and blended in. Down by the river, I watched the fireworks bloom against the night sky. At the orphanage, New Year's Eve meant an early dinner, and then straight to bed. No one could sleep, waiting for midnight when fireworks would crackle outside. We'd crowd the little window to watch. At first, only one kid would cry, then all of us. Quiet tears. Careful not to make noise, because we didn't want the caretakers to feel sad. But deep down, we all missed home. That night by the river, I cried too. Around me, people laughed and cheered, and I wiped my tears with a smile. Someone tugged on my sleeve. I looked down. It was Chen Shen's little sister, holding a stuffed tiger, her eyes sparkling beneath a tiger hat. You can fold paper cranes. What's your name? Where's your brother? I lifted her up. My name's Chao Kui. Where's your brother? My name's Chen Xiao. My brother's over there. I followed her finger and saw Chen Shen among a group of familiar faces. The ones from the mountain trip. They had bought boxes of fireworks, painting the sky red. Their fireworks were dazzling, grand. I could have gone over to enjoy the show, but I set the girl down, made sure she ran back safely, then quietly stepped away. On New Year's Day, someone knocked on my door around noon. It was Chen Shen. He handed Chen Xiao to me. She insisted on wishing you a Happy New Year. Happy New Year, big sister. I never expected anyone to visit me for New Year. Flustered, I grabbed a piece of red paper, folded it around some bills, and gave her a makeshift red envelope. Before they could leave, there was another knock at the door. I opened it, and someone threw themselves into my arms. Do you remember me? I missed you so much. The boy clung tightly, practically hanging off me. I struggled to push him away. Zhou, let go. I won't. Cough. There are people here. Chen Shen interrupted, still holding his little sister. Zhou finally released me, glancing between us. His eyes widened. Sis, don't tell me you're marrying into money as someone's stepmother. Don't be ridiculous. Do I look that old to you? Chen Shen spoke up first, and Zhou muttered under his breath. Who's that? The way he orders people around. He sounds like your dad. My friend, I answered stiffly. Chen Shen, and this is my little sister, Chen Xiao. Zhou frowned. Why is he your brother? Can't I be your boyfriend instead? No, I don't. Do sibling romances. Tja, preferences are cultivated, you know. Fine, I'll compromise. Call me big brother then. Cut it out. Sis, don't go. What's for lunch? I took the train all night. I'm starving and exhausted. Sit down. 3 minutes. The microwave will heat it up. No way. You always burn your hands with that thing. I'll get it myself. And you won't burn yours? Different. If I burn my hands, it's fine. Get lost. I bought you oven mitts already. Chen Shen watched us from the kitchen doorway for a while, then silently left with his sister. Zhou finished eating and cheerfully went to sleep, in my room. I hadn't bought another quilt yet, so only my room was livable. Honestly, I didn't expect Zhou to come. Our universities were so far apart, one in the south, one in the north. It took 4 transfers just to get here, and during New Year, tickets were almost impossible to buy. Every year when I called, he said he couldn't make it, but this year, he showed up on New Year's Day. It had been 3 years since we'd seen each other. The boy I once knew had grown a lot taller, but when I looked at him, he was still the same Zhou from back then. That afternoon, I went out to buy a new quilt and a fresh bedsheet set. Just that cost nearly 2,000 yuan. It hurt my wallet, but Zhou's quilt had to be good. His body was prone to allergies. I remembered the first day he came to the orphanage. They put him on the bed next to mine and asked me to take care of him. That very night, he had an allergic reaction. By morning, his face was swollen like a pig's head. I panicked, scooped him up, and rushed him outside. The doctor said it was the quilt. He'd almost suffocated. After that, Zhou had his own blanket that no one else could touch. I was the only exception, since he didn't know how to wash or air it himself at first. From that day, when I carried him to the hospital, he clung to me constantly, allergic to everything else, but never to me. He was like glue, stuck to me all the time. Back then, he was just a little dough ball I could easily carry. Now he was already 1.83 meters tall, and clinging like that was hardly appropriate anymore. Zhou woke up groggy at 8 in the evening. He stumbled out to find me, and the moment he saw me, instinctively tried to move closer. I pushed him away and he finally snapped out of it. Sis, good evening. Reheat your dinner yourself. Remember to wear the microwave gloves. Your room is next door. Sis, do you want to see my suitcase? Sis, I brought you a present. Suspicious. I opened the suitcase. It wasn't very big, but inside lay a neat bouquet of roses. Happy New Year, sis. I looked at the bouquet. Happy New Year. There's a bank card hidden in the flowers. The password's your birthday. Zhou. Yes, it may. seem unnecessary to you, but for me, it's very important. Not just because I like you, but because I want to give you something. Whether you choose to marry someone else or live alone, that can't be the reason to reject me. If you won't let me be your family, then I'll be your blood family. I never dared to come before. I had no money, no foundation, no courage to say these words, no courage even to see you. But today, I finally could. These years, I've really missed you. I thought I'd die from missing you. Get out. Don't bother eating. Take your flowers back to your room. No, I'm starving. Sis, don't get too touched. Who's touched? I just have a weak tear gland. I cry easily. Jolay stayed with me for a while. I took him shopping for some clothes. Many of his outfits had to be custom made from special fabrics, not to show off, but because custom fabrics were more reliable. Compared to others, my young master here truly had the frail body of a pampered prince. That year, it was the 7th time I ran into Chen Shen while shopping. It was becoming routine. He looked at me, his expression darker than usual. Jolay didn't like him at all. One glance, and he was sneering, sulking like a puffed-up cat. Sis, how much money do you owe this guy? Should I sell myself to pay it back? Seeing a lump of coal every day is exhausting. Shut up! He gave me this apartment, the one we're living in. Huh? That's it? We could have pooled together and managed that. Why not just return it? You shut up. Because of this apartment, your sis had to go on a picnic with a bunch of rich brats and ended up walking through the mountains all night. This is what I deserve. Sis, you've suffered too much. Wait for me. My friends and I just started a company. It's doing pretty well. Someday, I'll make enough to buy you 10 apartments. 8, at least. Sis, you should go to grad school. When the time comes, I'll come study here with you. If my friends ask why I'm living here, I'll say I'm keeping a graduate student. Just thinking about it makes me happy. Scram, Chen. Shen frowned as he watched the two of us, with our heads close together. What could you two possibly need to whisper about? Jolay muttered under his breath. Talking trash about you. But when he lifted his head, he smiled sweetly. Brother Chen, I'll be leaving soon. Please take care of my sis for me. She's timid. Don't let her go walking all night on some mountain trail. She's a girl. She gets scared. Chen Shen was taken aback. Would I ever let her? He cut himself off halfway, staring at me in silence. I lowered my head quickly. I didn't say that. Has nothing to do with me. Meanwhile, Jolay tugged at him again. Brother Chen, thank you for looking. After her all this time, do you like anything? I'll buy it for you. I don't need anything. Chen Shen's face darkened, but Jolay didn't get angry. Instead, he smiled. Let's add each other on WeChat. If you ever need anything, you can find me. My sis is here alone. No family nearby. She doesn't like troubling people. If something comes up, just come to me. Before the semester started, Jolay had to leave. It took him ages to finally walk out the door. Even at the train station, he kept looking back. Sis, don't forget me. Okay. I walked up and hugged him. He froze, staring at me in a daze. Sis, does this count as a reply? I said nothing, secretly slipping the bank card back into his pocket. After a long pause, he finally reacted and hugged me back, carefully. When he passed through security, I pointed at his pocket. He reached in, stiffened. Sis! Sit! Come back! Take the card back. I still have money. Sis, don't go. Uncle, can I just go back for a moment? Please give this card to that girl there. Sis, turn around. I covered my ears and walked quickly out the door. In truth, it was easier when Jolay and I didn't meet. Without seeing each other, it was just sharing things. Sometimes I'd think of those feelings. But they didn't weigh so heavy. Once we met face to face, though, separation became unbearable. Nothing I did could stop the ache of parting. There were 800,000 yen in Jolei's card. He must have scraped together every bit he could, wrapped it up, and brought it to me. Too much. If it had been less, maybe I would have accepted. After Jolei left, the new semester started. In my 5th semester, I thought about preparing for grad school, so I resigned as chairwoman. I even contacted Chen Shen specifically. From now on, sending me red envelopes is useless. If there's anything official, please contact my advisor or someone else. It took him a long time to reply, just one short message. I confirmed it and didn't bother anymore. Chen Shen didn't contact me again for a long while, until I heard he had a new girlfriend. At first, I thought it was Chen Jing, but turns out it wasn't. They said she was very beautiful. To settle it once and for all, I brought the house deed to see him. He was at his villa, with a beauty at his side. When he saw me, his brows furrowed, hesitated, then spoke. About this house. Chao Chui, you came just to say that, and the money I gave you before too. Since we were never really together, it doesn't seem right for you to keep it. Chen Shen was furious. His eyes burned. So now you say this? You want to cut me off cleanly. Is that it? I'm not. Then get out of my sight. I don't want to see you. I stood frozen for a long moment before finally whispering, okay. I left with the deed in hand. Later, I thought, well, this was just compensation for all the grievances I endured, wasn't it? Did all that humiliation amount to nothing but more humiliation? Smiling, I hugged the deed tight. If I didn't take it now, he'd never give it again. Selling it would fetch at least $1 million. Enough to buy Jolei a nice watch. Later, when Chen Shen graduated, I saw him once more. He looked striking in his graduation gown. As we brushed past each other, he grabbed my arm. Chao Kui, was there ever a moment you liked me? Not because of money, just because you liked me. I thought for a moment, then shook my head. Senior, the only reason people like you is because of your money. What do you mean? Because you're generous. And generous people are used to giving things away. Those things create the illusion of love. I left when you offered me a house. I thought, maybe you really liked me. Why else be so generous? But I quickly realized, it was just because you had so many houses. One didn't matter. That's not what true love looks like. True love isn't when I spend an entire night lost in the mountains, and you don't notice a thing. In this city, I have almost no one. That mountain was pitch black. I was terrified, clinging to the hope you might come looking. I kept wondering. Maybe you had. Maybe my phone had died, and I missed you. I shouted until my throat was raw. But when dawn came, all I saw was a bus stop. Chen Shen's grip tightened, wrinkling my sleeve. Then I heard him mumble an excuse. I'm not that senior. When you graduate, I'll be getting married. I'll send you an invitation. You have to come. He looked at me, dazed, almost panicked. After a long while, he muttered, all right, except in my heart, you're still my true one. Chao Chui got married. I stood at her wedding, watching her wed someone else. She said he was her childhood sweetheart. But if we're talking childhood sweethearts, he wasn't earlier than me, was he? The first time I met Chao, Kui wasn't in college. It was back in 2nd grade. It was the 90s. My family was still climbing, not as wealthy as now. My parents were busy, always handing me wads of cash for snacks. When they were transferred inland, they enrolled me in a local public school. That school wasn't friendly. Or rather, they bullied me for being rich, for being skinny and small. After too many times getting my money stolen, I told my deskmate. Her name was Chao Kui. Not just the same name. It was her. That little girl, cute on the surface. But behind it all, she was the type to smash someone with a brick. Back then, girls were usually taller than boys. She said she could protect me. The first time she fought, she took 20 yuan from me. That day after school, she charged in with a brick and beat the bullies. One kick took down one. Her hands grabbed two more, forcing them to apologize and promise never to touch me again. Then she happily went home with my 20 yuan. The second fight, she took 80. Not because she demanded more, but because she was even more impressive. The boys had started cornering me in the bathroom. When I didn't bring money, I was terrified, thinking I wouldn't make it out alive. Then Chao Kuei appeared. She even grabbed a ladle from the nearby latrine on her way in. At first, she swung it like a weapon. The boys dodged, laughing, still blocking the exit. Finally, she lost patience. She scooped up a ladle full of filth from the next stall. The stench filled the air. The boys panicked and screamed, "Don't come any closer!" She didn't. Instead, she flung ladle after ladle at them. That day, the whole school was in an uproar. The school demanded parents be called in. That's when Chao Kuei looked at the teacher and said, "I can write as many self-reflections as you want, but I grew up in an orphanage. I don't have parents." I froze. That's when I realized she was an orphan. I defended her, said she was just doing the right thing. My parents said the same. In the end, she didn't have to write anything or call guardians. Instead, she was rewarded 500 yuan. Though of course, that reward came from my family. Later, Chao Kuei asked if I'd pay her for errands. I said, "Didn't you just get 500? She shook her head. "The school gave it to the orphanage. I won't see a cent. I spent money like crazy, buying snacks, buying meals. I gave her plenty of errands. But eventually I had to transfer schools. Before leaving, I went to my neighbor, a girl named Chen Jing, and asked her to take care of Chao Kuei. I even gave her my favorite doll as a keepsake, and Chen Jing really did look after her. But I was gone too long, 9 years old when I went abroad, 18 when I came back. By then, I felt out of place in this country. Different from their 9 years of exams. I was just an exchange student. I looked down on everything here. I didn't even attend class until they told me I might not graduate. After my father scolded me, I joined the student council, and that's where I saw her again. At first, she only looked familiar. She was buried so deep in my memory, I couldn't place her. I just thought she loved money, something I'd always despised. But still, she seemed strangely endearing. I found excuses to get close. Watching her eat made me happy. Throwing her a birthday party made me happy. I still remember the way her eyes shone like stars when she looked up at me. Chao Kuei was incredible. She handled everything quickly, cleanly, perfectly. She always had a way. Something I could never match. I realized it and felt a strange, bitter anger. As if, aside from money, she didn't need me at all. That camping trip, I was sulking for no reason. She was so capable. Why not stay strong forever? I was waiting for the moment she'd need me, but I didn't expect her phone to die. Didn't expect her to spend an entire night lost on that mountain. After that night, she drifted farther from me. She never looked at me with those hopeful eyes again. I dated many girlfriends. I knew exactly how to win people's hearts. So I gave her a house. Not the best one, because most people would only complain, asking why it couldn't be bigger. But not her. She said nothing. Whether I gave or not, she was calm, unshaken. That's when I realized. She truly expected nothing from me anymore. Later, she wanted to return the house. I was furious. She wasn't returning a house. She was cutting me off completely. I couldn't accept that. I didn't want clean breaks. I wanted messy ties that never unraveled. Letting things stay vague is better, as long as she still has that house in her hands. I will always have a chance to turn the tables. Even if she gets married later, I won't give up. As long as she still has that house. If by any chance her marriage isn't happy, it'll be easy for me to squeeze my way in. But she changed houses. And that Joe Lack guy even helped her rent out the house I gave her. Side story. Joe Lack New Year's Eve, 10:07 p.m. Setting off to give her a surprise. New Year's Day, 11:40 a.m. Damn it, I arrived at her place and there's a man there, even bringing a child along. Scared the life out of me. Let me hug her to calm down. In the living room, hey, what's this? It's my soft, fair-skinned sister. Let me hug her first. In the kitchen, hey, what's this? It's my soft, fair-skinned sister. Let me hug her first. In the bedroom, hey, what's this? It's my soft, fair-skinned sister. Let me hug her first. Outside, hey, what's this? It's my soft, fair-skinned sister. Let me hug her first. Hehehe. My sister, the past. My parents weren't dead, but they thought I was too prone to allergies and didn't want me anymore. They abandoned me. I couldn't find my way home and was sent to an orphanage. That was my first time there, and I was horrified by everything. Later, the caretaker was busy and left me with a girl about my age. In the middle of the night, my skin flared up with red, swollen rashes. Itchy and painful, but I endured it. Then I felt it harder and harder to breathe. And my mind was slipping. It seemed like morning came, and someone lifted me up. That girl screamed. The boy seems to be having an allergic reaction. Call 1-20. I tried to open my eyes, but couldn't. I reached out and clutched a corner of her clothes. Don't leave me. Next time I won't be like this. She comforted me. I won't leave you. The ambulance will be here soon. I'll take you to the hospital. Once you're there, you'll be fine. When I woke up, I was already in the hospital, and she was right beside me. I grabbed the hem of her sleeve and slept better. Later, they bought me silk bed sheets and quilt covers. She complained about the cold and teased me for fussing that silk could only be hand-washed. She taught me how to carefully wash them little by little, but there was only one set of sheets and covers. So after washing, I had nowhere to sleep. I went looking for her, sneaking into her bed at night. Strangely enough, I never had an allergic reaction in her bed. Sleeping with her quilt, holding her, I never got sick. Later, the doctor said it might be psychological. I don't believe that. I always felt like she was the angel sent to save me. My sister, my dearest sister, when she gets married, her wedding dress has to be the most beautiful, custom made if possible, designed personally. Her ring should also be specially designed, unique, dazzling. Sis, you're here. Let me hug you. Joe Lack, you're 22 already. What does hugging have to do with age? Then what does it have to do with? I was pushed away, but I didn't give up. It has to do with how badly I want you to hug me right now. Do you know, I've prepared so many things. What things? You'll know when you marry me. Side story. Before the ceremony. Damn it, that Chen Shen trash. I wouldn't even look at him. Why would he confess to me? Why? Just because his family has money. And my family has money too. So I'm supposed to agree to a marriage alliance. With him. Other than those dirty bills. Has he ever looked at himself? He thinks everyone will fall in love with him. He even whined to me, saying girls only came to him for his money. Does he really not know himself? If someone doesn't love him for money, then for what? For the fact that he has 18 girlfriends a year? Or for his body, which could be sold off to Myanmar for a few dozen million? Makes me laugh to death. He has no ability at all, yet complains people only want his money. If he had anything else worth wanting, maybe that'd be different. and a man who dates 18 girls a year, yet calls himself faithful every day. That's some next-level nausea. Not even a dog would believe him. The only trick he knows is throwing money at that orphan, Chu Chui. But even Chu Chui only takes his money. When real trouble comes, she runs faster than anyone. That stupid fool should have been buried alive all by himself underground. And he dares chase after me. He's not even worthy. I'd rather stay single for life than marry him. He has so many cars. Why did he choose that one? And he deliberately made Chu Kui ride the sightseeing bus. That's clearly isolating her and leaving her on the mountain. That bastard clearly chased everyone else away just to leave Chu Chui behind. What was he waiting for? Waiting for Chu Chui to admit fault to him, to call him for help. Manipulative bastard. I called Chu Chui 16 times before I finally found out her high school number had been cancelled. But since my family does business with Chen Shen's family, I didn't dare curse him out. It made me furious. Early the next morning, I went asking around. When I found out Chu Chui had come back, I finally felt relieved. Here's some advice. With a scumbag like that, even if your heart flutters, you need to stop yourself in time. Run if you need to run. Don't wait for him to regret it. Especially that type. Never self-reflecting, always thinking he still has a chance, only scheming to hurt you once more. Miss your step once, and you'll feel sick your whole life. Have trypophobia. I really am terrified of that kind of manipulative schemer. Yet he still brags proudly, saying he'll wait for Chu Chui. Pathetic. He can't even handle his own mess, and he thinks he can chase Chu Chui? Even if she married 6 times. It still wouldn't be his turn. That's the end for now. The road ahead is long, and there are still many stories waiting for us to explore. See you in the next video. Don't forget to follow Mimi Audio so you won't miss out.